Last night on Techno's stream, the first ever meeting of the Syndicate took place, marking the official start of the organization. Now, there were a total of 4 people that showed up to this meeting, and it wasn't the meeting itself that caught my attention. The meeting actually went fairly smoothly. What caught my attention was an empty seat with the name of an ancient Greek god written on it. Upon being asked about it, Techno stated that the member did not want their identity to be revealed, and instead keep themselves hidden. And that's when I went, I have to find out who it is and expose it to thousands of people on the internet. And that's what I did. Upon doing research on that Greek god and analyzing the current states of the Dream SMP members, I was able to find a solid link between the god and a Dream SMP member. And so I'm here to tell you who the secret member of the Syndicate is. Enjoy the video. So if you haven't been following Techno's side of the story lately, the Syndicate is an organization started by Techno and Phil to bring anarchists together and diminish any form of government. And as I've said in the beginning of the video, after months of laying dormant, the Syndicate has finally had its first meeting last night. The lore-related part of the stream started with Phil and Techno talking to Nikki about joining the Syndicate. Now, Techno had actually asked for Nikki to join the Syndicate a while ago, and with Nikki's main goal accomplished, which was Tommy dying, and I know that she didn't kill him, but because she no longer has purpose, she finally decided to visit Techno. Now, while the three were talking about the Syndicate, Ranboo was secretly eavesdropping. If you didn't know already, Ranboo doesn't actually know about the Syndicate, and of course, with him finding this out, Techno and Phil decided to ask for Ranboo to join as well. To be honest, pinning somebody to a corner and asking them about joining an organization might not give off a good first impression, but Ranboo actually went along with it. Now, Techno had actually written a book about what the Syndicate is all about beforehand, and he throws Ranboo one of the copies of the book. Upon reading the book, Ranboo came to the conclusion that he agrees with the ways of the Syndicate and ends up joining the organization. To be fair, if Techno pins you to a corner and asks for you to join something, you're going to do it, whether you want to or not. After Ranboo joins, the 4 members decide to go to the main base of the Syndicate to have their first meeting. They jump down a secret lava lake entrance and end up in a giant ice tunnel. After some satisfying ice boat action, they finally arrive at the main room of the Syndicate. Now, as you can see, there are 6 chairs, and only 3 of them have signs on them. Techno sits down on the chair that reads Protesilaus, Phil sits down on the chair that reads Zephyrus, and there's also an empty chair that reads Harpocrates. Now, if you're wondering why there are these weird names on the chairs, Techno actually explains why.
All right, you guys are gonna need code names. All right, now that you're part of this organization.
Okay.
I don't know, get some like cool mythology thing. I don't know. We got like 6 chairs, so we might have to. I want to get more members who I need to like expand.
Now, that was the moment in which I thought to myself, there has to be a link between these code names and the characters they represent. And guess what? Every single one of these names actually exist in Greek mythology. Let's start with Zephyrus. Zephyrus is actually a part of the Anemoi, which is made up of the Titan gods of the 4 winds and the 4 seasons. Zephyrus was the Greek god of the west wind, and he was mostly referred to as the gentlest among the winds. And guess what? Zephyrus had wings. You know who else has wings as their main image in nearly every single instance in which he's visible? Philza, with his famous elytra. Now let's look at Protesilaus. Protesilaus was the Greek hero in the Trojan War. He was a great leader that actually led multiple forces and was the first person to reach the war grounds. Now, even though that does sound like Techno, unfortunately Protesilaus is most famous not for his leadership, but instead his death. He was actually the first person to die in that war, even though his death had been prophesied about and made clear to him a while ago. Yeah, not the best choice of names coming from an English major, am I right? Well, it could most definitely be Techno foreshadowing his own death, which would normally be weird, except Techno has been talking about a possible death like a joke for months now. I'm not going to go too deep into that in today's video, but I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section. And now for the empty seat, for the mysterious, unknown member of the Syndicate. Now, with all seriousness, Harpocrates was actually the god of silence and secrets, and originally he was an incarnation of Horus the Child. This actually isn't the only time the word child is mentioned. Nearly every single statue of Harpocrates has him doing a weird gesture with his fingers that normal people would describe as be quiet or shh, but it's actually the hieroglyph for the word child. So from the descriptions of Harpocrates, we're looking for a member that has a lot of secrets and cares a lot about secrecy, and they also need to have been in contact with Techno. Furthermore, they should also be a child, or at least childlike. So let's look at our options. Ranboo is already inside the Syndicate, so it probably isn't him. Tubbo is actually considered as sus and a potential enemy to the Syndicate by Techno and Phil, so it most likely isn't him either. Tommy has died, returned back to life, and is still stuck inside Pandora's vault with Dream. So who does that leave us with? Wait, nobody? Now at that moment, a member came to my mind. A member that doesn't exactly fit the description of the God of Secrets, but for now is the most likely candidate I can think of. Captain Puffy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Puffy isn't a child, so what are you on about? Well, even though she might not be a child, her character is actually really closely related to children. Puffy's Dream SMP character serves as sort of like a mother figure to many of the children on the Dream SMP, and the most recent examples of that would be Tommy's death. Even though Puffy had nothing to do with it, she still feels responsible for Tommy's death. Sentences like "I failed to protect him" frequently came out of her mouth. With that being said, we still have 2 more points to check off our list, and surprisingly, she covers for all of them. Puffy has recently been in contact with Techno. Only a couple weeks back, they exchanged messages through books and burning signs, and later on even talked about the Eggpire and the Syndicate when they came across each other during Techno's egg-related livestream. And now for the most important part, secrecy. Now, Puffy might not look like a very mysterious person or secret person at first glance, and to be completely honest, she isn't. Her character is by no means associated with secrets or silence, but if you have been paying attention to her lore streams, you probably know that she's actually working as a double agent against the Eggpire. Even though she's a part of the core members, or was a part of the core members of the Eggpire, she has secretly been writing down everything she knows inside her captain's journal. In all fairness, I'm not sure how her cover hasn't been blown yet with actions such as crashing the Eggpire's Tommy is Gone party, but at the end of the day, the Dream SMP is scripted. So with that being said, she might still want to keep her identity sealed, to prevent any of the current members of the Syndicate leaking her involvement in it to the Eggpire, because as we know, the Eggpire has been secretly trying to assassinate Puffy. For now, I think it's best for Puffy to keep herself hidden, until she can make sure that she can trust the current Syndicate members. But at the end of the day, that's just a theory. If you want to theorize with others about the Dream SMP, be sure to join our newly opened Discord server. It's usually a really fun time. Also, subscribing is free and it only takes a couple of seconds. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay safe.